Oh hell, Senator Hoodie. Senator Hoodie does it again. Senator Hoodie, brother Hoodie does it again. He ain't, I'll tell you, it's been 8 weeks now. We've been counting 8 weeks, and he has not put the hoodie back on yet. I don't know because if it was summer, but 8 weeks, y'all. And he once again does it again. All right, Senator Hoodie. John Fetterman, y'all give it up.
When I represent a state like Pennsylvania, that keeps you honest. And you always can't forget that a lot of Americans happen to disagree with you. That does not mean that they are fascists or now they want to shred the Constitution.
But when you hear some Democrats saying Trump is acting like an autocrat.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If you actually compare him to an actual autocrat, that is not just that. Now, last night, for example, people were complaining. They were protesting about, oh, that's the Hitler thing. You just don't ever compare anyone to Hitler and those kinds of extreme things. And now look what happened to Charlie Kirk. I mean, the man was shot. Now we have to turn the temperature down. It's like we can't compare people to these kinds of figures in history. And this is not an autocrat. This is a product of a democratic election. It's like I participated in that. It was safe and it was secure. We lost. And the America people put us in the minority. And now that's democracy. And I revere democracy. I may not like the outcome, but I have to respect that, and I have to find and work through this. And that I do believe that's what's appropriate.
So you don't think that Trump is at all shattering any of the norms of democracy in any way?
I'm saying he's definitely different, but that's what America voted for. Again, I don't agree with many of these things, but that does not make him an autocrat. That does not make someone or compare him to people like Hitler and these other outlandish things.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Couldn't wait to get into this, family. Y'all knew it was coming. I don't know how many Senator Hoodie videos we've done on the show. And y'all know I call Senator John Fetterman Senator Hoodie because y'all know the famous hoodie. He don't take it off. But it's been 8-9 weeks. I'm telling you, we've been counting. I've been counting the days, the weeks. Yeah, I ain't seen him he been wearing that same black, and he always have it unbuttoned about right here. We've been wearing that same black little collared shirt. Yeah, and he been keeping it real. I know some of y'all say this about John Fetterman, he still votes with the party, he does this and that, he's still this and that. But hey, and even Trump has said, maybe John Fetterman is the only Democrat in the party that has a little bit of sense. That is actually, a normal human being. I tell you. It actually has a little bit of common sense. But this was huge, and as you can see, it has blown up all over the internet. People posting the clip everywhere, resharing it. This really hit home, especially with what took place in this country this past week of seeing a man shot dead, unalived, in front of thousands and even his own wife and kids, and simply on his own opinions and beliefs and just debating people. And if you disagree with them, hey, it's okay. Come up to the front. Let's chop it out. If we agree to disagree, you disagree with me. Okay, well, let's have a conversation. And that man didn't deserve to miss his life, lose his life like that. I know a lot of people are saying all kind of conspiracy theories with this and that in Israel, and there's just so many conspiracy theories and rabbit holes to go down, but just looking at an overall point, it shouldn't have happened like that, man. And I want to send my prayers, love, and condolences once again, and to his family, his wife and kids, his family and friends, But right now, it's not left versus right. It's good versus evil, And I want to tell you guys that I love you. I don't care what side you stand on. If you believe this or that, hey, cool. That's you. Cool. You believe this and that, cool. You a liberal, you conservative, you Republican, you Democrat, you voted for this person, cool. I'm wishing the best in everybody's life. Yeah, I am, man. I'm wishing Trump come out and say, everybody, your interest rate, everything is 0%. And we've cut $1,000 off your rent, your mortgages, everything. Yeah, we all celebrate, And that grocery has all the grocery prices have been cut down 25%. Everything is cheaper. Yeah, that everybody can just have a beautiful life on this earth. That's all I'm wishing for, man. That's all. Yeah, I'm wishing everybody just have a beautiful, healthy life, man. That there's no wars, that we actually have a border. Just common sense things. Yeah. That we do things the right way, law and order. That's just, if you know me, you know me. That's what I've been on this show preaching 24/7. I'm just, they say Rick, a common sense let me get it right. A common sense activist. Common sense activist, man. That is just a love activist. I'm wishing the best in everybody's life, man. I got love for you. We put everything aside, man. But to see people celebrating and laughing and mocking somebody's death, that don't fly with me, man. It don't. I don't care what he said on this or that or this and that. And somebody in my comments say, Rick, did you see what Charlie said on MLK and Martin Luther King and this and that, the Civil Rights Act, this and that? Whatever Charlie, I've done my research on all this stuff. Charlie said this on that. I've already seen it, y'all. His opinions, his beliefs, millions, billions of people around the world love Charlie. And I love to see so many people honor and the tributes, the baseball games, the football games this past week, and even this upcoming week, people showing so much love to Charlie, seeing what's going on down there in London, Australia, all over the worldwide, But who didn't come out and call this party out? Not only did he, reflect back on this Charlie Kirk event, he literally called his entire party out once again. Yeah. Calling Trump an autocrat, Hitler, fascist, threat to our democracy, But man, Senator Kennedy, the Democrats, stop calling Trump an autocrat. Don't force a government shutdown. Accept Trump's help on crime. Stand with Israel against Islamists. And Madami doesn't reflect our party. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh man. Madami doesn't reflect our party. He say the hell with Madami, huh? Oh man. They say, sir, you think you can come in New York and plant the tree and then the tree will grow and that there'll be money that falls off the tree, sir? It'll just fall off the tree when the tree grows, Mandami. Them patriots say revoke his citizenship and get his butt out of here. They deport his butt. That's what they saying, man. I tell you, the socialist communist. That's how they think things work that way. Hey. We've seen it fail before. And it just failed. What's it called? But hey, let's try it again. Let's see if it works. But let's get into this, man. Senator John Fetterman makes a huge announcement, shocking announcement, and Democrats are just blown away, stunned, can't believe it. Senator Hoodie is what I call him. Senator Hoodie once again.
Never going to change my party.
And the hell with CNN. He starts it off, I'm never going to change my party. Hey, y'all know I predicted Senator Kennedy having just a surprising announcement that shocks everybody in the near future, where he comes out and just leaves the party and is independent. But hey, he said he's not going to leave the party.
Never going to change my party, but clearly we've lost the argument, and right now I think it's entirely appropriate to really be honest and just figure out why exactly have we effectively lost 2 out of the last 3 cycles, and a lot of the things we've really kind of really lost our connection with American voters in ways. And I think we can't just be, well, Trump is always wrong, or that we're going to set the country on fire or whatever. That's just not true either, of course. But, when I represent a state like Pennsylvania, that keeps you honest. And you always can't forget that a lot of Americans happen to disagree with you. That does not mean that they are fascists or now they want to shred the Constitution.
But when you hear some Democrats saying Trump is acting like an autocrat.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. If you actually compare him to an actual autocrat, that is not just that. Now, last night, for example, people were complaining. They were protesting about, that's the Hitler thing. You just don't ever compare anyone to Hitler and those kinds of extreme things. And now look what happened to Charlie Kirk. I mean, the man was shot. Now we have to turn the temperature down. It's like we can't compare people to these kinds of figures in history. And this is not an autocrat. This is a product of a democratic election.
So you don't think that Trump is at all shattering any of the norms of democracy in any way?
I'm saying he's definitely different, but that's what America voted for. Again, I don't agree with many of these things, but that does not make him an autocratic.
But one of the things that I hear from Democrats a lot saying a reason why voters may not like Democrats is because they don't fight hard enough. Democrats should be fighting harder. What do you say to folks who say that?
What exactly is fighting? What is fighting? Delay more votes, or just vote every no on everything, or saying, well, if they're doing X, well, then that means it's wrong, that kind of a thing. It's like, what exactly is fighting?
I'll give you an example. It could be shutting the government down. Like some Democrats say, if this happens, it'll be Trump's fault.
That's not fighting. That's mutilating our nation. If you vote to shut our government down, you are going to harm millions of Americans. And why would you do this? Where's our leverage? It was wrong. It was wrong for the Republicans to do that. Absolutely, that's true. It was wrong for the Republicans to do that. It would just be wrong for us for those things.
Bigger picture, has your party shifted or have you shifted ideologically?
My party is acting in a way they have forgotten. They have forgotten one of the reasons why we lost in 2024. Some of the most extreme things were weaponized against that. And now some people think now we have to double down on those things, or we must become more progressive or more extreme. That's absolutely not true. The 7 or 8 states that are going to determine who's going to be the next president, we have to win in those states. And I understand what that takes. And a lot of these ideas that are now putting back and being reintroduced are not going to carry, Pennsylvania.
Speaking of which, you're talking about what's happening in New York. Zoran Mamdani, Democratic Socialist. He is the Democratic nominee. And polls do say that he is ahead by a significant margin in that race. I mean, is this where your party is headed, and is it a wake-up call to Democrats like yourself?
I don't believe that. New York City is not reflective of our national political things. Certainly the states are going to determine who's going to be the next president. So I don't take any kinds of lessons or anything from that election.
Trump is threatening to send the National Guard into a number of these blue cities, blue states. We're seeing Democratic mayors in Chicago and in Baltimore resist additional federal help. Is that a good idea to fight Trump on this?
No, what I'll say is, like, I experienced that, it's like I live in Navy Yard. I would walk to work and I would see a lot of National Guard people. It honestly wasn't a big deal. They were friendly. They were standing around. And this wasn't like there were Russian army people. This was, it's our sons, our daughters, our fathers, our mothers kind of a thing. If you actually experience it on the ground, it's really not like it's not occupied city or anything. So for me, when I was a mayor, I was a small town mayor, I asked for help. I asked for help to confront gun violence and crime. If I was a mayor and I had a significant kinds of violence situation, I would be happy to get help. honestly, for that.
Should they
I've
ask for
done
help?
that. I've done that.
And do you think they should too? Like Chicago, Baltimore, and the like, they should accept it.
All I'm saying that it's like when 600 people are killed in Chicago every year, roughly, I think it's entirely appropriate.
Are you comfortable with the way these ICE raids have been carried out in some of these cities?
Not entirely, no. I believe we should have a secure border. And I absolutely believe you should round up all of the criminals. And then I do think you should deport those. But I don't think it's really helpful to raid a factory and round up all of them and deport them. I don't think it's appropriate to go to like a slaughterhouse in Nebraska and round them up and deport them things. That's not true either. I don't think America really supports those things. I think two things must be true. A secure border, round up all the criminals, but we don't and shouldn't target otherwise hardworking migrants that are just effectively making a significant contribution to our economy.
Mm-hmm. I wonder politically, you talk about what happened and Democrats may not.
Give me a beautiful comment down below now. Give me a beautiful comment down below, family.
Have learned the lessons from the last election. Do you think the issues of crime,
like the border, for example, the border, those kind of things. We are living in the backlash of a lot of the things and the mistake that we have made as a party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's what I was going to ask you. Are crime and immigration? Are you worried that there will be liabilities for Democrats in the midterms next year?
If you are willing to sink, like if 600 homicides a year are okay, or we don't need help. If I was mayor, I'd be like, absolutely, I'd be grateful for help. Just because if Trump is calling for something X, Y, and Z, then that doesn't mean you have to necessarily oppose that. I think I was the only Democrat that supported striking the Iranian nuclear facilities too. I mean, that was entirely appropriate. I think that was the right thing to do. And I really I believe that too.
You think the party has not learned the lessons from last year? That's fair to say, right?
It hasn't been a year. It hasn't been a year yet right now. And that's what I'd like to remind people. It's like a lot of those things really cost our election now. I don't think there has been an effective evaluation. I don't have an exact answer, but I'm not going to just spit out things and pretend that I know that it's absolutely right.
One of the issues you found yourself on the opposite sides of your party is on the issue of Israel. Are you comfortable with the way that Netanyahu is waging this war in Gaza right now, including these strikes in Qatar?
I absolutely fully support continue to destroy Hamas for that. And now, of course, the situations in Gaza, it is difficult, but for some people, they choose to blame Israel for that. I blame Hamas, I blame Iran, and I blame that. So for me, that's what, and people aren't speaking the truth that Hamas could send the hostages home and disarm, and then that's the first opportunity that we can all move on, and the Palestinians could finally have an opportunity to live in peace, and they could start to rebuild their lives.
Were you okay with the strike that they just had in Doha against the Hamas leadership, the Israelis? Were you okay with that?
Absolutely, it's appropriate. Unless Hamas is willing to surrender and send people home, that's a war, and it's a just war. There's no ethnic cleansing. It's not a genocide. This is a just war, and I don't know why people blame Hamas for those circumstances right now, that it's not Israel's
They
fault.
say that Israel is using starvation as a weapon. Are they?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Israel is not deliberately starving people. Absolutely. Those conditions are miserable there, and it is hell on earth. Why? Some people blame Israel for that. I blame Hamas and Iran for that thing.
All right, a lot to digest there.
Oh boy. Senator Hoodie. Senator Hoodie. What y'all think of Senator Hoodie? Let me know in the conversation down below. I love y'all, man. God bless you all and your family. Y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Enjoy your Monday. We might have some more things on the show today that we're going to be breaking to you. So, make sure you tune in if you can, if you want to. If you're new here, join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you don't miss a new video on the show. And yeah, it is going down, man. We once again send our prayers, love, and condolences once again to the Kirk family and family and friends. And we're going to continue to bring you updates on that. We do have a huge update later on today, I know, of something that happened in Utah revolving around that. And it's a pretty bombshell. So pretty big bombshell. So we're gonna get into that. But I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself, and I will catch y'all on the next one on the show. Peace and love, you guys.